To this community
with the developer support,
a lot of dedicated work.
As Hastro,
we definitely listen to the fans.
The future is going to be incredible.
So, we think this is a great way for us to start, going into the esports space. As you can see, we've got excitement in the background. We've got lots of teams playing. But for us, as I started to say, being able to really start to talk and listen to this community and give them a game that they can play in the esports is only going to make it bigger. The team really focused on making sure that it really needs to be a spectator sport. So if you look at the features that we have in codcasting that allows players to follow a particular individual or see what's going on in the mini map or the score panel, all of those things that the team worked on really is going to be able to have players that aren't familiar with esports to be able to watch it on the stream or come to an event and actually be able to know what's going on. So for us, we think the future is super bright. We really want players to play Call of Duty. We want it to be, synonymous with esports. We want players to know that, we're going to support them.
Yeah, so I think, we have to keep in mind that esports globally is less than, 20 years old, right? It's still a teenager, and sports like football in Europe or American football in the NFL are very, very old, very established, mature sports. So we're in the early infancy of what this can become globally. Eventually, will we be on par with those huge major sports? Absolutely, and I think the reason is because so many people are gamers now. So the penetration of people who actually play online multiplayer games is tremendous. And as that group of people get older, they won't stop playing games necessarily. They may play less, but I think what they'll do is watch the next generation of top competitive players. So I think, absolutely how long that will take. Is it 10 years or 30 years from now? I'm not sure. But I think that the fact that all of the global league organizations like MLG, Activision and Treyarch and Microsoft all being behind this and pushing the sport together forward, I think it's just amazing, and I think that the future is going to be incredible.
I'd say the closest contact with the developer for me is Hastro, and it's probably the same for him. We're all really good friends with Mike, and he's the Treyarch esports advisor. So anything that we feel could
be overpowered or needs tweaking, we just go to him and
or if we think something could benefit competitive Call of Duty, we will give them our thoughts and go from there.
The thing is that they got the better spawn, and this is one thing that I'm sure Treyarch is fixing. It's a spawn delay off the beginning. You're allowed to jump off the map or team kill your teammates, and you'll actually get a better spawn. So it's it just teleports you across the map off the beginning.
This is their game to win.
We're going to start things off on board with Parasite. Parasite, the player we were just talking about, the best anchor in the game. As you can see already, Envy actually all killing himself, and you may be sat at home wondering what exactly just happened there. Envy just trying to do a bit of a spawn dictation glitch, if you will, trying to get on that hard point just a little bit quicker.
Do we know these players? Do we talk to these players? Look, they're very vocal. We definitely listen to the fans as well as these pro players. We actually work with Mike Hastro. Was sort of an esports consultant for us on Black Ops 2. So he's been in the scene for many years and has a lot of keen insights and understanding that we wanted to make sure that as we started developing some of these features, it would be adopted by the esports community. So definitely listening to the fans, but also listening to players and people involved in the esports space to really make sure we were delivering that kind of excitement. So we were very lucky.
With how things have gone with Black Ops 2, I'm very open to more growth from competitive Call of Duty. You see a lot of YouTube guys who mainly focus on general public match gameplays on YouTube, supporting esports, and they're enjoying what they're seeing. There's millions of people who play normal public Call of Duty, but they haven't really been exposed to the competitive side.
No way!
That all changed with Black Ops 2 with the developer support, with podcasting, with league play, and everyone's getting a small taste of what we've been doing for the past 4 or 5 years. So I'm very excited to see where it leads and where it goes. And there's really no telling how much growth we can have it's really depending on the next Call of Duty and how they tailor their game. I'm pretty sure Infinity Ward is going to be on the next title. So they've been a little reluctant to competitive Call of Duty and implementing settings for us. So we're just going to have to see how that goes.
So, when we look at the game like this, right, one of the pillars that Treyarch talked about early on was esports was important to us, but really the whole multiplayer experience is. We think that Call of Duty is just naturally very competitive, so we felt we could add just a handful of features that would allow the competitive environment to actually be able to adopt and play Call of Duty Black Ops 2. But again, it's about the multiplayer experience. So whether you're in a pub match, public match, or in league play, or playing it competitively, all of the systems, all of the content that the team has produced really all plays well nicely together. Competition is just a little bit more serious players. You're looking at players that are communicating, they come up with strategies, versus just going in with your friends and having a great time playing. So it's just a little bit of a different experience.
Of course, like competitive rule set with this, it's stricter. There's more restrictions implemented. So of course you can see the difference in the actual metagame. As for playstyles, if you put a competitive player in a public match, he'll probably dominate. So you can see the difference in playstyles as well, and vice versa. If a public player who'd never played competitive was to play some competitive games online with the rule set, he'd probably struggle.
Like a competitive player can do like anything as when like you play with competitive rule set, as the words is competitive, like everything he does, like he got a good mindset to do it. He knows what to do. He knows the gun. He has a good gun skill, and a public player can't really just jump in competitive, scream and play good. It's hard. Like you need to know some things that many players don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what you're seeing here in this massive global event is the culmination of a lot of dedicated work on behalf of Treyarch and a lot of support on behalf of Activision to really keep an open ear and an open mind with the esports community in general, with the top players, with Major League Gaming, with the entire community, and the capability to take all of that feedback. And sometimes it can be difficult and it's not always positive feedback, but the capability to keep an open ear to the community and put on an event like this, which is just absolutely stunning and amazing. It just shows that, they really do, both Treyarch and Activision really do have the best intentions in mind for their core fan base, and they want to support as much as possible the capability for esports to grow. So I think it's just amazing.
One of the great things for us as a developer is really looking at how score streaks are being used, how players are looking at line of sights, what they're doing. It's anytime you can see the level of play of the players that we have here today is just a wonderful opportunity for our developers, a great way for us to talk to our community, to find out what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong. So it's really inspirational to be able to talk to not only these pro players but the fans as well.
Yeah, I think again, because it's so early, everybody's aligned in that we just want to make esports bigger. It's not a competitive situation. There's no, the capability for big companies like Activision and Microsoft and small organizations like MLG and a united fan base and the teams and the players. We all have the same goal, which is let's just make all of esports activity bigger in general. So I think that's key to how do we take esports to the next growth level. That kind of cooperation among all of the participants is what's critical.